All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yasha, Bahashim Kadash, giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh, Bahashim Yasha. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well taught us truth. Shalom to the sincere brother out there who preaching this truth and edifying the verses why started judges. While Shalom to the elect scattered abroad. Today, the new brother Ayawab come back to you today with another lesson entitled Coronavirus Pandemic Outbreak. Or it's like a coronavirus pandemic update. Because this plague, this pestilence is starting to spread slowly but surely. And China is spreading quickly. I want to go ahead and get the definition of pandemic. Definition of pandemic.
Pandemic.
Of a disease prevalent over a whole country or the world. Similar, widespread, prevalent, pervasive, rife, rampant, epidemic, universal, global. So I've been seeing on RT News and sites like that, or YouTube videos like that it's not a pandemic, but it's an epidemic. So let's get that word epidemic. Let's see if epidemic. I don't know.
Epidemic.
A widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community or at a particular time. So it don't say it's around the world. And I've seen some have said the difference between pandemic and epidemic. Where is that? It's like I cannot spell. Epidemic versus pandemic. It says, what is the difference between epidemic and a pandemic? It says the answer. An epidemic occurs when a disease affects a greater number of people than is usual for the locality. For one that spreads to areas not usually associated with the disease, a pandemic is an epidemic of worldwide proportions. So epidemic is like when it occurs, like it affects many people at the same time over several communities. And then a pandemic is when it spreads worldwide. I think like they said about the Black Plague or something like that. It's the Black Plague, a pandemic, or what was Black Death, I guess. The Black Death, also known as the pestilence, pest for short. The Great Plague, or the Plague, or less commonly the Black Plague, was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. So, it's epidemic is when it's many people over several communities, and then a pandemic is when it's an epidemic, but over the whole world, and it just spreads throughout the whole world, and that's what it's looking like. This is going to be. It's looking like what, Lord willing, this is what this coronavirus is going to be. It's going to be a pandemic, and hasten the days. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the news right here. It's in the news It says South China Morning Post, so I guess it's morning over there. This was on today, February 15th, 2020, 7:21 a.m. Or I guess that was whenever that time was there for them. It says coronavirus experimental treatments give hope as China death tolls hit 1,523. It says scientists report positive results from treatments using plasma from patients who have recovered from the illness. China reports 2,641 new cases, 849 of them severe on Saturday. It goes on to say China reported 2,641 new confirmed coronavirus cases and 849 new severe cases on Saturday. A total of 143 more people have died, bringing the total number of deaths in the country to 1,523. There are 2,277 suspected new cases. The total number of confirmed cases across the country stands at 66,429, of which 11,053, 18%, are severe. In Hubei province, epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, 2,420 new confirmed cases were reported, with 1,923 of those in provincial capital Wuhan. The city also accounted for 107 of the 139 new deaths reported in Hubei on Saturday. So, that's a lot of confirmed cases, so to speak. And that's confirmed. That's not even knowing the other people which are not confirmed. I've also been reading that they're hiding how bad this coronavirus is. That they're hiding how many people are actually infected, how many cases there actually are. And they see that plasma, stem cell therapy, possible treatments. I'll read a little bit of it. It says, I'm going to read the first paragraph. It says, Jiang Xinming, director of the Science and Technology Ministry's Biology Century, said the child convalescent plasma taken from the blood of recovered COVID-19 patients on 11 people with the virus has so far yielded positive results with no side effects. So they trying to contain it, but Lord willing, if it be the Lord's will, they don't contain it. So there are 66,492 across China. And I didn't look it up before, but I'm going to look it up now. And I think they said that they have a new, that new COVID, I think, which is another type of the coronavirus. Cases worldwide is what I'm going to look up. Read this. This is, don't play. Coronavirus cases rise to more than 67,000 globally by Jesse Yang and Steve George, CNN. Updated 8:40 p.m. Eastern, Friday, February 14, 2020. So this is from CNN. It says more cases. The novel coronavirus has now infected more than 67,000 people globally. The vast majority in mainland China. The death toll is at least 1,526, including 3 people outside mainland China. Medical workers are at risk. China said over 1,700 medical workers have been infected by the virus and 6 have died. Spike in numbers. There's been a spike in numbers because China changed how cases are tabulated. The total will now include people who demonstrate all the symptoms of COVID-19 but have not been tested or are believed to have falsely tested negative. And that's a new name for it, I guess, COVID. So Malaysia has 2 more confirmed cases. Of Thailand's 34 confirmed cases. And I'm gonna see if I can get this video here from RT. I'm gonna get this first because it's on YouTube. So this is from zeroheads.com. It says U.S. military initiates global campaign plan for pandemic by Tyler Durden on Thursday, February 13th, 2020, 8:46. It says it appears that the U.S. military is taking this coronavirus outbreak extremely seriously. An executive order. So before we go on, let's see what that definition of executive order is.
Executive order.
A rule or order issued by the president to an executive branch of the government and having the force of law. So this is an order issued by DJ Trump. Executive order is a signed, written, and published directive from the President of the United States that manages operations of the federal government. So executive orders are not legislation. They require no approval from Congress, and Congress cannot simply overturn them. So continuing on, it says an executive order has been issued which has initiated the implementation of the Department of Defense Global Campaign Plan for Pandemic Influenza and Infectious Diseases 3551-13. So and from this guy right here, Dabu777, he goes on to say after he reads that they have 11 picked out locations for bases for coronavirus bases, like what do you say?
Some they already have stream talking about how they have 11 bases picked that they're going to start setting up these quarantine stations in.
So 11 bases picked that have quarantine stations. 11 bases picked that have a coronavirus station. And that could turn out to just grow. Now, I watched it might be a while back. Slovakia. Damn, it's all from one day ago. Slovakia, y'all. Bear with me while I look for this. Here it is. I think. Let it.
To look into this for us.
Vietnam, the UAE.
Even if y'all can't hear, I'll just say it out loud, just in case.
Special correspondent Michelle Greenstein. Michelle, take it away.
Rick, according to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are confirmed
Let's see if this
novel
works.
coronavirus cases
Nah, I ain't gonna
in
try just in
25
case I don't.
countries now. According to data released just today, the death toll in China has surpassed 630 people, with more than 70 of these deaths occurring within the past 48 hours. Now, the total number of confirmed cases in China has surpassed 31,000.
And this is from 1 week
The Special
ago.
Administrative Region of Hong Kong just reported its first death from the virus on Tuesday, adding it to the list of locations affected. But here are the other countries where there are confirmed
So these are
novel
like
coronavirus
where all the
cases.
cases are globally.
Australia, where as of this morning, 15 cases have been confirmed by the government. Belgium, where the first case was confirmed 3 days ago. Cambodia confirmed its first case January 27th, and Canada has 4 confirmed cases as of Wednesday. Finland, 1 confirmed case, a Chinese tourist. France, the first European country to be affected now, has 6 cases. In Germany, 13 cases. India, 3 cases. Italy, 2 cases. Malaysia, as of today, has 15 cases. Nepal has 1 case, a man arriving from Wuhan. In the Philippines, officials confirmed their 3rd case Wednesday. Now, Russia, 2 Chinese nationals infected. Sri Lanka, 1 case. Singapore, 33 cases. Spain and Sweden both have 1 case, and Thailand has 25 confirmed cases as of Tuesday. Now, the Republic of Korea, 23 patients as of yesterday. The UAE, 5 cases as of Saturday. And the United Kingdom confirmed its 3rd case on January 31st. Now, in terms of here in the United States, 12 confirmed cases. And finally, Rick, in Vietnam, the number of infected people was brought to 12 on Thursday. Back to you.
Thanks, sir.
So all of them, if you couldn't hear that, which maybe probably wasn't able to, all the ones in red have at least 1 case of the coronavirus, at least, and I would say three or more, 2 or more. But it's starting to look like a pandemic, and this is from a week ago. We don't know. There could be like 2 or 3 more cases. But and the U.S. is starting to amp up their security. So that's all I have for that. Let's get into a couple scriptures. So I want to start off right here. Let's get straight to the point. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For the wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Most High is starting to bring plagues upon the world. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what it's starting to look like. Lord willing, it is. And over in China, it's you got to stay in your home. You can't leave. You go to the main strip in China, it's a ghost town. And Lord willing, that's coming to America soon. Can't go get no food. Gonna have to stock up on food if you want to survive. Gonna have to gotta wear them wristbands, and you can't have your phone more than 5 meters away from you. It can tell when you leave the house and everything. I was seeing somewhere that they had drones, if some hovering over people's going around people's communities, and if you try to leave the house, the drone was saying go back in your house. You can't leave the house. It's in this one. So this is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that's what's happening. If you want to go into another city, you can't do it because you got to stay inside. You can't spread that COVID. And that's what's going to happen in America. And that's going to bring on martial law, civil war, and so on and so forth. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So you can't leave your house, you're going to get hungry. So you're going to go over to your neighbor's house. They're going to go over to their neighbor's house and do what they got to do to get food. You're going to have the stores ravaged and everything. Second Ezra 16, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fury, the beginnings of evil. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So it's starting to come. It's starting to show. It's starting to be made manifest. But it's the beginning, man. The beginning stages. The birth pains. Who then, as I said, what shall I do what you gonna do when these evils come, man? What you gonna do when they say, hey, when this martial law comes, man? Second Ezra 9 from the top, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproar of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end, and an end, and the end is manifest. So it's manifest, man. It's made clear. It's close. It's close, man. We just so close, man. Go ahead and get that. Let me see if I believe I know it. Come. Romans 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. So it's time, man. Our salvation is so close. As I say, I can taste it. It's so close. And I'm going to end it on this scripture right here. What is it? I can't think of it. I feel like it's in Isaiah. Isaiah 65, verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power. Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of the spirit. So come. We're going to be happy in those days when martial law comes, when the persecution arises. When everybody else is hungry, the Lord is going to feed us. When everybody's crying, we're going to be singing joy. We're going to be praising the Lord, because we know that it's time. Our salvation is near. And Lord willing, this coronavirus just hasten the time, because we waiting patiently, man. But first and foremost, it's that Kah Halayim La, Yahweh B'Hashem Yasha, B'Hashem HaKadas, giving our glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh B'Hashem Yasha, Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were willing to try the truth. Shalom to the sincere brother out there who preaching this truth and found the brother sister while sharing duties. Wa shalom to the elect scattered abroad. Lord willing, this video was edifying to the spirit, to the body, to the fold, to give you an update on what is going on with the coronavirus, and show that the end is manifest, that we almost here, so close. Just keep pushing, Akim. Shalom. Kwam Yashalom.